Voilà, bonsoir à toutes et à tous. Bienvenue à ce Q&A. Welkom deze Q&A van Lost and Found met regisseur Jorge Dorado en acteur Álvaro Morte. Applaus, on les applaudit. On va faire le Q&A en anglais, mais bien sûr, si vous souhaitez poser une question à un moment donné en français, pas de souci, vous le posez en français, on s'occupera de la traduction. We gaan de Q&A in het Engels doen, maar indien u een vraag wenst te stellen in het Nederlands, is dat geen enkel probleem. We also have people following us on our live stream, so we're welcoming them as well. And as you can see, there's a very strong vibe here at the festival. Did you stay for the screening in our BIF audience?
Absolutely,
and what did you think of the reaction of the public?
We saw the projection. It was very interesting to feel how the audience react to your movie. It's very exciting.
I don't like it, the door thing. It's open? Okay. Let me take it. Okay. I say I really like the door thing.
The dolphin.
I will keep that in mind for my next movie, is to close the door all the time.
Oh, the door, yeah. I suspect there are directors who specifically put door issues in their movies just for this audience. I'm pretty sure they do it.
No, but suddenly you realize how many doors you need to make a movie. Like what is at the other side of the door, why somebody leaves the door open. So without doors, you can have thrillers or horror movies at all. I just realized that today.
Okay, so I would like to ask you the first question. How was it, the beginning, like working on the script with the scriptwriter as the director? So how was the process of it? If you can tell us a little bit about it.
Actually, it was Nacho Lopez who was developing this idea because he was actually working in Lost and Found place in Spain during a festival, something like that. So he thought about the idea about what is we don't have a detective, we don't have a police, and then we have a guy who works actually in this place. It's kind of real weird character we can create. And then he wrote the first draft of the script, and I just fell in love. More than in the story, I fell in love with the character. I thought that was a really interesting character. And then we were working together to create, I don't know, the whole environment and the whole theme that is treated in the story. You know, that whole human people, we treat other humans as objects. So we try to create that in the story, and then Álvaro came on board and then put the character in another level.
Was Álvaro the obvious choice, or were you considering other people? How did that work?
Actually, we were working in another show. It's called The Pier, El Barcadero. It was a TV series, and at that point, I have decided, and I found a producer for the movie, and I told him, there's this amazing character. I think it's perfect for you. And it was really easy. He read it, and then we were agree. Yeah, it's this kind of match that something happens.
We're gonna ask you now then about the preparation for the character. Like, how and did it take you too long? Did you get too deep in the persona? Like, can you tell us a little bit about it?
Well, I always prepare every character in a very meticulous way. I always think about how is this character, thinking about the psychology of the character. And once that I have discovered every little piece of his mind and how he thinks in every way, then I try to match it with the construction of the movements and the body and everything else. That takes like kind of I don't know, maybe 2 months or something, working alone in front of the script and working with Jorge, and we finally found this kind of guy who is an anti-hero, is not a hero, and he's kind of a clumsy in a way. He's not very clever, he's not very smart, he's not fast thinking, and we thought that he has all this path to walk along all this adventure, and we thought if we were doing kind of a brilliant guy, it would be easier for him. But we wanted to make him to get a difficult path to walk, so we tried to choose that kind of options in terms of how we built up the character.
So he wasn't really like that in the original script. This is like the construction that you gave to him together.
Yeah, we were talking a lot, and also with Nacho, because in the script it wasn't necessary a clumsy guy or a silly guy, you know, or not almost stupid guy in a way, you know. But we decided it could be a good option if we can get a clumsy guy that you can fall in love with when you watch the movie. That would be something kind of special, and we tried to do. It was a very risky thing. It was a very risky option, but we thought we could have even more fun doing that, you know.
There was also like a psychotic or like a psycho side of him, like in some shots, for example, when he gets hit. When the Sarah hits the brother, I mean, we get to know he's the brother. We saw this look on the face with the blood on the, like he had this like sinister.
Yeah, we wanted to create this kind of sensitive but dark, in a way, guy that you cannot discover exactly what is in his mind. And actually, I have to say that kind of smile in his face at that moment, it was Jorge coming one day and say, "You're gonna laugh in that moment." I was, what the fuck, man? Really? We are in the middle of a fight. Well, no, you're gonna laugh. No, I'm not. And at the very end of the day, when we were shooting that shot, it was like we made it kind of in a normal way, you know. And then when we had this shot, Jorge said, "Okay, just try once with a smile in your face, kind of a weird smile." I said, okay, let's do it. And finally, it's in the movie.
Now, this is, you know, I love Korean movies, and they go, you know, far from, you know, European directors. So I think it's really interesting when you don't actually know the character, you know what's happening in his mind, and then you see something like that, who is disturbing. And, you know, I don't know, I think making a movie is also, you know, sending questions to the audience all the time. So that's the most important thing. And at the end, we have a payoff. We understand why he is the way he is, know what he lost, what happened in his past, no? So that's why we are always playing with different ideas around always the character.
This brings me to a question that's maybe not very important. I'm sorry if it's a stupid question, but is that why there's always chopsticks? They're always eating with chopsticks in this movie. Even at the Peruvian restaurant, they're never using a fork. It's just always
because
chopsticks.
it's a Peruvian and Japanese mix.
All right. So anyway, how is the relationship between you guys? So it's not the first time that you work together. You obviously enjoy the collaboration.
I believe it's not going to be the last one.
Hopefully. We hope not. How would you say you work together? Is like Jorge a director that gives a lot of freedom, or he knows exactly what he wants? And you know, are you the kind of director that expects very, very specific things from the actors, or you let them be free? I would like to hear the response from both of you.
For me, like working with with Álvaro, with any actor, is like, okay, this is the story, but at the end of the day, you know, I know what I want, but the character have to, you know, comes alive with the actor. So I need the actor be involved in the story. So I don't want to say, okay, be in that chair, say the lines, this is the rhythm. I don't like that. I have it in my mind because I created in my mind every shot and the pace of everything, but I prefer to let the actor explore the character and explore the scene. I'm really happy when the actors came with idea or explore different ideas and different things in all the ways. But yeah, that's the way, and I really like improvisation and all that. And at the end, for me, more important than the character who was written in the script is that, you know, the character is alive. And if the character is alive with something different that I have imagined and it's powerful, for me it's better, always better.
There's this story that we met like 1,000 years ago. We were working in this production, and I had this. I was beginning as an actor, and he was beginning as well. You were, I don't know, it's
like a third assistant or whatever.
Or something.
Yeah.
And I was that actor who had that little part in the movie. And I remember we were working together like 3 days or something. I was just three days working days in that shot. And I remember the wrap party that Jorge came to me, and I was just there holding a beer, like very shy, and then everybody there. And Jorge came to me and said, hey, I just want to say you that I really liked your work in the movie. And I was like, I mean, are you talking to me? Really? Really? Oh, thank you. And since that moment, it's kind of a love relationship that we had, and our lives have been separated and getting closer again. So it's been a while together.
Yeah, it's something that I learned from my mother. If you see some talent, you have to say it, because I think it's really important with everybody starts. We need like some courage. So I think we need each other in the industry, whatever the place we are.
Indeed, I agree. Totally agree. I also watched one of your short films, La Guerra, and
Sorry for that.
I think it's a very harsh short film, and I also know that you worked with Pedro Almodovar, and like my heart. But my question is, what draw you to actually work on the script? Was it the fact that it's related to children, defending children, or anything? Because I kind of realized there was a certain pattern where, like in Guerra, in bad education, etc. So is it something that speaks to you?
I don't know, it's probably something that is hide somewhere inside of me. I don't know, that I'm connected with these kind of horrors. And I remember one day, one of my favorite directors, who is Brian De Palma, and then he told that the director needs to do or tell the story that disturb them. So the kind of things that you can't afford, you need to tell the story about that, because it's something dark in the world, and then you need to tell it through your eyes. I think that's probably because of that. I don't know. Mentioning La Guerra, who is a horror short film that I cannot watch anymore.
But so still the context in this movie, of course, is pretty dark. How deep? Maybe it was a question for Nacho Lopez, I don't know, but maybe you guys can answer it as well. But how much of research went into this story? How true is it, let's say, to the way these networks operate?
We did a lot of research, and also we have some interviews. But at the end of the day, when we decided not to go 100% realistic, because it was already a really, really hard story to tell. And at some point, as I realized that, okay, if we want to tell this, it's going to be too hard if we make it in a really, natural and realistic. That's why I choose more to make like a fairy tale. And there is, so tell the story more through the characters and the story, and then go into, the real problem of prostitution, traffic with babies and all that. We don't want it to be 100% realistic on that. And then I remember working with Álvaro. There is one movie that came up, I think. It was, do you know Jorobado in English? The Hatch... Hunchback of Notre Dame.
So, Hunchback of Notre Dame,
yeah,
yes.
of Notre Dame. So that's a kind of fairy tale, and that's what my inspiration for also how to tell the story as a fairy tale.
You already mentioned the objectification, and of course the Spanish title is Object. Do you think it's going beyond just these networks, just these criminal networks, but more like a thing that you see throughout society, that we treat each other more like objects? Even you can see like the screen, when you can choose the prostitute on the screen, it's almost like a Tinder thing. Was that something that you wanted to transpire as well?
Yeah, totally. That was also with David Acereto, who was the DP. We were working and the art director all around that. No, we need to put people and things and objects at the same level all the time. So yeah, that was part of the idea.
And by the way, why is the title not Objects then in English? Was there a discussion about?
You never know, but in French you will surprise that the name is La Maleta. Okay. So it's like
the usual when it changes to French. My question is for Álvaro. I don't know if I'm spelling your name right, but about the voice. Like, we're talking to you right now, you have a really normal, nice voice, but in the movie, it's like I couldn't stop thinking about the Batman. Like, it was really, really low and...
Really low and dark, but it's kind of the energy of the character, you know? It's like very, very rooted, you know? I use this inspiration. We have this material in Spain called adobe in Spanish, which is some kind of, you know, in the countryside, up in the north in the country, in the old times they built up the houses in the countryside with this kind of mud, kind of compact mud with stones inside and something. So I thought the characters could be something like that material, which is kind of dirty and it's malleable, but it can be so hard as well that he can support the heavy weight of a whole house, you know. But it was some kind of something thick and powerful and very with a deep weight. And I just tried to connect this kind of sensation with the voice that I had to use. I thought, because if this material is kind of dirty, that the voice should be dirty as well. Not only low, but dirty. It's kind of difficult to understand what he's saying, because he's like talking to himself. It's really hard to him to express himself out. So that was the word that I was trying to do with the voice.
It has something out of a film noir as well. The character, and he likes jazz and this whole vibe going on.
Yeah.
Alors peut-être qu'il y a déjà des questions dans le public qui vous brûlent les lèvres, non pas peut-être, j'en suis certain. Voilà, monsieur ici. Attendez qu'on vous apporte le micro.
Álvaro, connais-tu des mots en français?
Do you know some French words? Apart from vacances, obviously.
Vacances. French words. Je ne sais pas. À tout à l'heure. I don't know.
It's perfect.
But Jorge talks very well French.
Fuck you. Il parle un petit peu français, mais pas beaucoup. J'aime bien le français.
Encore d'autres, n'hésitez pas.
Okay, here.
Oh, voilà.
I wanted to ask, specifically, since here it's a movie that somehow treats the topic of prostitution, how is the perspective that you have as a film director towards gender, not just specifically in this movie, but in general in all your work? Like, because I see women in the movie, but I was wondering, like, which role they really have in the power of the movie itself, like the character. Yeah, that's like the question.
Yeah, wow, what a question. Obviously, against everything, you know, against any explosion of any woman in any situation around the world. What we tried to, at some point, to create the character of Sarah when we were working with Tina Suarez, it was somebody who was like lost faith on the world, you know. He just go with the flow and what is happening to her, because it's like we spoke a lot about the character in that level. It's like somebody who have been raised to be a prostitute, so it's not like her life changed at some point and then she became a prostitute. As soon as he was born, he became a prostitute. So she doesn't understand the world in a different, you know, in another way. There is no hope. There's probably an instinct to be free and then to understand that is an option for her. And then through the story, she finds the courage and the power on herself. Because actually, when the character of Mario is trying to take her from the hotel, she doesn't want to go. You know, she doesn't want to be saved by a man. And then she discovers in her own, you know, inside of her, the power to actually kill the man who is kind of the father, you know. It's like kill the father.
And the female police officer, which, by the way, reminds of another one in Spanish productions, is she there to sort of counterbalance? Because she's a really strong character. Although she doesn't take a direct part, maybe, in the story, she's like a strong counterbalance. Is that right?
No, totally. We were working a little bit as like Mario has the fire, and Elena, the policeman, is the earth. Like, okay, this is like a solid, real love, and then the character of the woman is kind of air, no? So like, it's like you have fire and then you have air.
Earth, wind, and fire.
Something like that, no? But yeah, we wanted to create kind of triangle for the character of Mario, and at the same time, I wanted the audience to fall in love with the character of Elena. Like trying to tell Mario, what are you doing? You know, you're gonna lose your life. Don't do that, she's amazing. But the problem with Mario is not about be in love with a woman or with another woman. It's like you understand that he have to move from the place that he is like caged, no?
But like, do you have something for women police officers? Because I remember in Casa del Papel, you also fell for a police officer. And
I'm
now
not the
again,
screenwriter.
No, yeah, well, I was just
I do
wondering.
what they ask me to do.
Ok, est-ce qu'il y a encore des questions? Allez-y. Il y en a, voilà. Il y en a une ou deux là, au milieu.
Hi. Now that we were on the subject of the police officer, I was wondering why did you make her a police officer if she wasn't going to be like the savior of the movie, and she was actually, I mean, her job wouldn't take any part in the story really. She's a character who happens to be a police officer. I was wondering if you could tell us more about that.
Yeah, we need somebody like in this kind of genre, like kind of film noir stories. Also, the main character of Mario needs somebody to talk with, and also at some point the character of Elena, as she's a policeman, he can give him some clues about the investigation, and also something that is real in this kind of places, lost and found places. Actually, there are policemen who brings the objects that they found in the streets or in different places, in train station and all that. So that was the beginning, you know, that was the first reason why the screenwriter came up with the idea of the policeman. But yeah, we can do another movie without, yeah, maybe it works, yeah.
Il y avait encore une autre
With a
question par là
plumber.
d'abord. Oui. Non. Voyons, mademoiselle. Là. Voilà.
Hola, Álvaro. I wanted to ask you, was the main character, so your character, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Barely.
Speak close to the microphone, it'll be fine.
Speak close, yeah.
Yes.
Now? Yes. Okay. So I wanted to ask you if the character for you was at the first time difficult, you had a difficult time to play this character?
I try to make it difficult. I mean, I enjoy very much finding stones in the road. You know, it's like if I have something which is not a challenge, I don't have fun. So that's why we were thinking, okay, in the original script, it could have been some kind of normal guy who works in this place, or even an intelligent guy who is, you know, not facing the society, who lives in this kind of hangar and has this plan to save her. Looks like some other character that I already made. Could be very similar to the professor. So I thought, okay, if the essence of the professor is how smart is him, let's make a silly guy, let's make a stupid guy, make someone which is not intelligent, you know. That was an option into acting, and it was even more difficult to defend some guy who has to be a hero and he doesn't know how to be a hero, you know. So it was, it could have been easier, but I wasn't interested at all in doing something, you know, easy.
Did you find a difficulty getting like out of your El Profesor persona to get inside of the Mario?
No, for me, I've been. I was studying theater for many years. I've been doing theater many years, and I've been working in the daytime in a TV show, and then I was running to the theater to step on the stage and perform another character. Even in the stage, maybe you are doing like 2 or 3 characters in the same play. So it's, for me, the main thing is when you study the character, when you create the character, when you decide how is it gonna be. But then, for me, it's like wearing a suit. You know, it's not a difficult thing for me to escape from this or that character. Maybe it's also because of my way of working. I never do it like, you know, the Stanislavski method, that you feel what you do and you have this kind of emotional memory connected to yourself and you get involved emotionally with the character. For me, it's not, I never work like that. For me, the funny thing is when you have to pretend that you just lost your grandpa, and everybody feels that you really are you know, suffering because of that loss. But inside me, I'm having a lot of fun thinking that you believe that completely when I'm kind of lying to you. You see, I never lie in my life, never ever, except when I am on a stage or in front of a camera. It's for me, the, you know, the art of acting, in a way, is the art of lying. You know, if I make you believe that I really feel this and I'm not feeling this, is when I think it's a good acting.
The good thing with Álvaro, actually, you know, from my perspective of director, is like you work with an actor who have prepared a character, and then he goes with the character to any scene that you propose. I can go, you know, I can come with sides one day of shooting and say, okay, so we're not gonna follow the script anymore, and then you're in a car, and then you're, you know, you find a dead body, and then you have to be the character and say, okay, so who's the lines? Let's have a look, and then I can do it. Because he created the character, so he comes with the character every day to the table, and he can do anything. So no, it's not, when I work with other actors, if you came with something new, it's like, hey, fuck, I didn't prepare that, I don't know how to do it. But he knows how to do it because he knows the character really well. Oh, that's maybe the difference. I don't know. You don't work with other actors as I don't work. I can compare.
This whole conversation makes me think of the scene where you bring her back from outside in the rain, and then you have this really intense
emotional
fight.
scene.
That must have been one of the hardest, or am I completely deluded and maybe something else was harder?
It was hard, but it was also fun. I mean, we were completely wet and coming inside with, you know, it looks like kind of emotional, but everybody's around you with the microphone and with the camera and everything. So you have to be concentrated, but not into, you don't have to be concentrated in connecting emotionally. You have to be concentrated in the person that you have in front of you, in your lines, in helping the guy who is with the microphone, because if you make the scream while you do this, then it's not going to be good. So you have to make the scream and then do this, so it's clean and separate. So I have this way of working which is very, very, very technical. So it was very hard. It was fucking freezing, but it was very, I mean, it was very funny to work that scene.
Totally.
Ok, je crois qu'il y avait encore des questions. Oui, par ici.
Bonsoir, donc une question pour l'acteur monsieur Álvaro Morte. Ça concerne la série donc Netflix La Casa de Papel. J'aurais souhaité en fait savoir dès le départ pour le casting si ça a été compliqué pour lui pour avoir ce rôle du professeur, et d'autre part est-ce qu'il s'attendait par la suite à ce que la série allait avoir ça allait avoir une popularité mondiale, quoi, ça allait marcher à ce point-là, quoi. Voilà, le succès.
Well, thank you for the question, Helsinki. It's a pleasure to have you here. Nobody expected the success of Money Heist, of Casa de Papel. I mean, we worked for 2 seasons for a national TV in Spain. We finished the series because in Spain was kind of a normal average success. It wasn't a huge success at the moment. So we finished the story after the second season. Actually, if you watch the series, when you go to the end of the second season, it's an end. It's an ending point over there. And then we said goodbye to the characters with this kind of feeling this sad feeling that you feel that there could be something more about those characters. We could tell more things. We could discover more things about those characters. So 2 seasons were like sure thing to investigate, you know, and to research into those characters. Then Netflix took it and put it worldwide, and it was like an explosion of success. We have this WhatsApp chat, you know, with the other actors and directors and stuff, and suddenly I remember one day, I think it was Álvaro, Nairobi, who was saying in the chat, like, hey guys, check this out. And it was a picture of some people like you now wearing a red suit and a mask in Argentina, or I don't remember where it was. It was like, oh wow, they just saw it. Oh, fun. Wow, perfect. And the very next day, it was another thing. And the very next, it was like huge explosion. In 2 months, it became something very, very big. I mean, so nobody expected that. So when Netflix called us to retake, you know, the shooting and the series itself, it was. I mean, all of us, we were very, very happy and excited.
Et donc en fait, donc brièvement en français, effectivement, c'était pas du tout attendu que la série ait autant de succès. Au départ, c'était juste prévu pour faire 2 saisons, et la série prenait fin au terme de cette 2e saison pour la télé espagnole, avec un succès, on va dire, mitigé. Et à ce moment-là, pour les acteurs, c'était le moment de dire au revoir à leurs personnages, mais ça leur a laissé un petit goût de trop peu. Ils se sont dit, voilà, on aurait aimé pouvoir développer un petit peu plus ces personnages, on pouvait en faire plus. Et voilà. Et puis pour finir, c'est Netflix qui a repris la série, qui l'a lancée au niveau mondial. Et puis ça a été une véritable explosion. Il raconte que, par exemple, donc l'actrice qui joue Nairobi sur le chat, sur leur WhatsApp, a dit, regardez les gars, il se passe un truc. Il y a des gens qui se déguisent en costume rouge comme vous en Argentine. Qu'est-ce qui se passe? Et puis voilà, ça a été un peu l'explosion partout en même temps. Ok. We also have a question on the live stream. A question for Álvaro. Which character trait do you like most about Mario?
I think that he's afraid of nothing. He's brave. He doesn't care about who is in front. I mean, he has this target. He knows that all these things are wrong, and he needs to solve that. You know, so he's just a brave guy. I love that thing.
Good answer. Est-ce qu'il y a encore des questions dans le public? Allez-y, oui, monsieur.
On
fera l'autre monsieur après. Allez-y. Allez-y, posez votre question.
Okay. Do you ever think there will be a European film industry that could rival the American one?
Do you think there's a European film industry
Or there will
that
be.
will ever, that there ever will be a European film industry that will rival the American film industry?
It's a question of money, no? I think, I don't know.
Not in
Power.
Instead of money heist.
I don't know, the American culture is that big, and then they have all the studios and all that. But it's not a question, it's not a race, it's not about who is bigger, it's about, I don't know, good stories, storytellers, talent. And then I think this morning I think we were discussing about everything is about how the world now is opening to a different language as French, Spanish, Korean. all the audience all around the world now, they not only like watch movies and series in English or in their language. You know, I'm watching Swedish TV series, and it's something unusual even for me. But now and then so we are in a really good moment for any language, any country, any talent around the world.
Okay, so the gentleman standing up behind you.
Well, first of all, thank you very much for the excellent work. Enhorabuena.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Thank you so much.
You mentioned during the discussion right now that you were accommodating the script in some instances, depending upon the actor or the director. Do you have a striking example on when this has happened? The script was meant to be here, and then suddenly, because of a particular circumstances, we decided to move that. Is there a particular circumstances which, in the film, on which this has happened? And maybe the last question. I know some creators do not like to discuss about future plans, but which are your future plans in common? Are you preparing already a new film, a continuation, or whatever? Thanks.
Actually, thinking about that, the scene of the rain that we have mentioned about, how powerful performance Álvaro did, it has a different approach. The focus was more on her and not in the wound of Mario. And that's something that actually Álvaro came up during the rehearsals, because we were doing rehearsals and talking about the script. And then he realized that we needed something at that point to create or to give the audience the opportunity to understand a little bit more the character. And then all those lines about I can
Fix it.
I can fix it. Actually, it wasn't in the script. That was Álvaro's idea. Not at the very end, but it was during the rehearsal.
There was an idea that he tries to say all the time that I can do it, because in the background that you work for yourself to create and find the basis of the character, I always thought that this guy has been always told at home, his parents, like, you're unuseful, you cannot do this. You're just a piece of garbage. You're nothing. So he was kind of a part of the society because of that. And that's why he's trying finally to be able of doing something, That's why for me, the basis of Mary is all the time like no, I can do it. I can do it. No, I can do it. I can do it. The only moment it was kind of an internal joke is when she's going to get the baby. And you need to help me. No, I cannot do it. I cannot do it. So that's why we were doing.
I asked you to do that. No, I think I remember. Yeah.
Yeah, and something together. I mean, we were talking this morning about a project that Jorge has, and said to me that she's writing about something, a very beautiful story, and we were talking about maybe in the future, but it's something which is kind of very soon.
I want to do something brighter, and I want to do a melodrama. The next one is my next movie. I'm filming next year, and it's the story actually of my mother, who lives during the 50s and 60s between France and Spain.
I'm not gonna be the mother.
And
thank you.
But relationship with actors is not about friendship or about if they're gonna. It's about characters. So the most important thing is, like, you want Álvaro, you need a character. So it depends of the characters. It depends of the moment. So I'm gonna do the movie. If he wants to be in the movie, he will have to call me.
Me too.
Please make a genre movie with lots of doors, and that would be the best. I believe there was a tall gentleman in the back who still had a question there. Yes?
Yes, but we're gonna take the online question, so it's the last question here. Okay?
All right.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. First of all, thank you for the movie. That was really nice to see.
Thank you.
And my question concerns the car chase. At some point, Álvaro's character offers money in exchange for safety of him, the girl, and the baby. And he is told he's being asked if he is a capitalist now. Is that a bit of a nod to a certain professor from a certain very successful series, or is that just a coincidence?
No, it's just a coincidence. Sorry, I'm gonna. Cuando de repente estamos, que le ofrezco dinero cuando estamos en la persecución de coches y salgo y llega Daniel Araoz. No, te doy más dinero. Y dice que ahora que eres un capitalista, que si es una especie de.
It's a good line, by the way. It's a good line from the bad guy. You know, say, "What are you a capitalist now?" I liked it, but
That was a coincidence, yeah, totally. Also, the stairs, I don't know, do you remember that one? It's one location that is the same.
The stairs, when he goes to see this woman who lost, who was a woman who threw the suitcase to the river, there are those stairs that he's going up, at the same stairs that we were shooting in the 5th part of Money Heist, where the professor and Inspector Sierra, we were escaping from the police, and we are going through some stairs, are just the same stairs. So I remember arriving to the set like, are you fucking kidding me? I mean, are we going to shoot this in the same stairs? Really?
well, it's going to follow you forever. You know that, of course. They'll keep calling you the professor and so on. Okay, so maybe we have some questions from the live stream audience, right? Is that what I understood, or are we? Okay, there we go. For me, Mr. Hoffman, a question for both. If not actor, director, what profession would you two choose? It's a good one.
Cooker. Let's cook. I love cook. It's really creative. You are alone. You don't have to speak with so many people.
The chef.
Chef, yeah. Not really successful chef, because that's stressful. Just a small restaurant.
A thief. No. No, a musician. I love music.
Okay. Do you actually play an instrument? Or?
We cannot say play an instrument, but I like to kind of, go around some kind of piano, keyboards, and guitar, and bass, drums, but I mean, not a good player, none of them.
I have a question triggering me. You spoke about Korean cinema and that you love it. It's pretty clear in the movie through the cinematography, the lighting, and more or less the darkness, and also the space that Mario works in. But it also made me think a lot about John Wick in certain places. Yeah, and also in the kitchen, it made me think of the Matrix at some point. I don't know if you...
We never thought about John Wick reference. No. I remember we were filming in October or something like that, and I text Álvaro during the summer because I have that vision of, he should have like long hair, a long beard, and I text him like, don't go to the barber shop, just in case, we will meet in September, don't go to the barber shop, and then suddenly, I don't know. And all this connection, I think I remember in my future Mindscape, they told me, the end is the same as this movie. It's like, and then I realized that, obviously, it's the same, but I didn't, it's something like probably are at some point in your brain, and then you don't know.
And is there some certain movies or cinema that you got inspired from, or like you look?
It's obviously Taxi Driver from Martin Scorsese. Also, there's like a kind of joke. The hotel, I don't know if you know this, it's called Bickel Hotel, who is the surname of Robert De Niro's character in that way.
Yeah, and we were talking all the time, like the inspiration also for this kind of hero was, as we said before, the Hunchback of Notre Dame and Beauty and the Beast. This kind of tough guy, clumsy, that he doesn't know how to react, that he wants to do it good, but sometimes he misunderstands things. So they were all.
The only movie I watched before filming was Jones Ford movie, The Searchers. I don't know how you translate it here. The Searchers is a John Wayne movie that he tries to put his nephew back. Do you remember that one?
I haven't seen it.
Centauros del Desierto is in Spanish. Maybe somebody can say it, because in different countries have different titles. But it's one of the most famous John Ford's movies.
Okay. All right. So I don't know if there's still more questions from the live stream. I guess it's the last question from our live stream audience then. Go ahead.
Question around there.
Oh no, it's in the audience actually. Go ahead.
Okay.
You go
I
ahead.
have a question for both of you. I wanted to ask, it's pretty general, but where do you see yourself in 10 years, professionally speaking? Both of you. Guapos.
Here in the beef.
Thank you. Thank you for the question.
That would be good.
You're really nice.
I don't know. I don't think too much about that. I mean, I rather think about the present, you know, and let's see what happens. You know.
The most important thing, you know, trying to answer the question is, I think Álvaro and I, we're really lucky because we are in a situation in the industry where we can choose what to do and what not to do. We were speaking this morning about, oh, I rejected this offer, oh, I rejected this script. So it's like, wow, it's amazing. We can choose about our career. Maybe we can have success or maybe we can fail. You never know, because as Guillermo del Toro says, you know, when you start a movie or a TV series, there are two doors. One of the doors is, you know, it's a mess, it's total failure, it's un fracaso, and the other one is success. And then suddenly someone tells you, "Oh, come on, choose one." And then, you don't know, you just open one door and then you go straight with your ideas. So I would love to imagine myself in 10 years in the same situation, just having the opportunity to choose.
I have a question that's triggering me. Why Mario? Like, why did you kill Mario at the end? Why did you decide, you and the scriptwriter, that Mario dies at the end?
It was necessary.
No, it wasn't.
It was necessary. Come on.
I think Mario killed that man in the past, so it deserved to be killed. And also, I really personally, because in the original script, there was a happy ending, actually. Nacho Lopez wrote a happy ending, and that was my idea. I want everybody crying. I don't know, I like people crying.
Some people say it's actually more of a drama, in fact, than a thriller or.
Have that, obviously. I think every story is a drama. It's a love story also. It's a very strong love story. And also Mario dies, but she is on vacances. So she is now freedom, and then she can have a future with her baby, the baby of Mario. And then Mario will be alive in the baby, so.
Actually, can you imagine him alive after 2 years, that relationship? I mean, he's a really weird guy. I mean, he's a freak. I mean, you cannot spend with this guy more than 2 months.
Sarah is
you know?
really lucky he died.
All right, guys, it's been really, really brilliant having this conversation with you. I think I would like to thank you for this great movie and for your presence today in the name of our festival. There will be a signing session now, and by the looks of it, it might take some time. In 5 minutes, the signing session. Fair enough, but we stay right here. Okay. But I think, yes, as we're kind of all out of questions and you are all out of beer, it's probably time to, to wrap it up. So anyway, thank you very much. And we really hope to see you again at BIF.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. The festival is amazing. Congratulations.
It is.